Thank you, Mr Speaker. My question is for the Minister for Transport. Given the fantastic news of the $100 million accessibility upgrade for Redfern Station to provide lifts for platforms 1 to 10, will the Minister commit to expanding the scope of the planned works to include lifts for platform 11 and 12 so we can finally tick it off our list and make Redfern Station fully accessible? Or as your election slogan said, let's get it done.
Minister.
I'm making transport great again too. But look, can I just say to those opposite, that's how you ask a question. I mean, what a fantastic question. The good member did have. Well, talking about $100 million, I gather. I mean, look, it's as close as a compliment we'll get from you, Jenny. I can promise you that much. But just in terms of the member for Newtown's question, there is some substratum challenges in terms of platforms 11 and 12 at Redfern, and there is a preliminary investigation. Are you saying time? You don't? Oh, okay. That's all right. We'll have time. They'll have time out. There is some substratum challenges in relation to platforms 11 and 12, and there are some preliminary investigations going on. In terms of what we are doing at Redfern Station, it is the 6th busiest train station on the network. In 2015, as you know, we obviously put a lift into platforms 6 and 7 at Redfern Station, and we are, of course, going to be providing 6 lifts, which will make platforms 1 to 10 accessible. And I must say that there is nothing more important that any government can do than to ensure that people with disability in particular have access to transport. It's the biggest human rights barrier that exists in this regard. And this government very proudly, at the last state election, did bring forward a plan to ensure that 68 additional stations are made accessible across the network. We have about 90% of commuters who do now have access to accessible stations. We are, as part of that, making sure that we do provide access in many stations across the network. I do want to single out Golden. I do want to single out East Hills and Dubbo, the types of places which we are also building. And, you know, great local members who do the right thing, like the member for Newtown, who has sat down with transport staff to raise these concerns. So we will continue very much to have a look at what we can do in terms of substratum. I would remind the House, I mean, when we came to office, there was only 2 stations a year being done at that point, and we inherited City Circle without having full lift access. So again, you know, the Minister for Transport at the time, our now wonderful Premier, was able to ensure that happened. So we will continue to invest, and there's a great program, 68 stations to come, due to the great financial management of the government.